Why Team Visma bikes got stolen at the Vuelta 2025. Introduction. A pattern too familiar. It began as a whisper at first, a few lines tucked into the backpacks and back pages of cycling news outlets. Quote, team suffers overnight bike theft. A headline that might otherwise belong to a quirky local crime blotter. Teenagers running off with a couple of road bikes has, over the last few years, metastasized into a reoccurring and sinister storyline in the professional peloton. The latest and most dramatic case occurred at the 2025 Vuelta a España when Team Visma bike, the powerhouse squad, woke up and found that up to 18 of their high-end Cervelo racing machines worth a combined €250,000 had been stolen from their mechanic's truck overnight, while the riders and staff slept peacefully in a Turin hotel. It sounds eerily familiar. Just a month earlier, during the Tour de France, another team had fallen prey. Cofidis, 11 of their racing bikes were vanishing in the dead of the night, right from the team's workshop truck parked outside their hotel in Bodneus, near Lille. That theft was valued at €143,000, and their team manager, Cedric Vasseur, didn't mince his words. Quote, certainly an organised gang. Each bike is between 10 and 13,000 euros. Multiplied by 11, that's a lot of money. Coincidence? Hardly. This script makes a case that these thefts aren't random bad luck. They are more like the work of well-organised gangs, opportunists yet methodical, zeroing in on the weak points of cycling's travelling circus, team buses and mechanics' trucks, parked overnight in hotel lots and filled with some of the most expensive, custom-built bikes in the world. Let's examine the evidence. Case Study 1. Cofidis and the Tour de France heist. The Tour de France is no stranger to drama, but for Cofidis in 2025, the drama didn't come from a crash, a sprint finish, or a mountain raid. It came from the hotel parking lot. On the night of July the 5th, between stages 1 and 2 of the Tour, Cofidis awoke to devastating news. 11 of their road bikes, custom tuned for the riders, had vanished from their truck. The theft happened in Bodneus, just north of Lille, while the team was staying at a hotel. According to reports, thieves broke into the mechanic's truck in the small hours, forced upon the door, and made off with the bikes without waking anyone. The value, roughly €143,000. Each bike was valued between 10 to 13,000. Cofidis, team boss, was pretty pissed off. Police quickly opened an investigation for this, and some of the stolen bikes were found abandoned near the Belgian border. 5 were discovered discarded near the team's hotels, while 6 were located later by police near Halluin. But Vasseur was convinced this wasn't the work of petty thieves. The break-in was too precise, and the timing was too perfect. Quote, it's not possible that someone comes by chance and steals 11 bikes, each worth a fortune, from a secure truck in the middle of the night. This was planned. The episode raised serious questions, and now it's happened again. We're going to look into exactly what I think is actually going on. How did the thieves know when and where to strike? Was it a crime of opportunity, or had someone tipped them off about which team had what equipment and parked in which hotel car park? The recovery of the bikes was cold comfort. For Cofidis, the damage was already done. Mechanics lost sleep, the team scrambled to prepare backup equipment, and the theft overshadowed the racing itself. Crucially, it set a precedent. If one team could be hit so hard during the biggest race on earth, no one was safe. Case Study 2. Visma and the Vuelta a España raid. Fast forward just 3 weeks and lightning struck again. This time at the 2025 Vuelta a España hosted, and it was during the opening stages. On the night of August the 24th, after Stage 2, Team Visma bike's mechanic's truck was broken into while parked near Turin. By morning, up to 18 bikes were gone, including spare race bikes for Jonas Vingegaard and his team. The total value, roughly €250,000. Visma's CEO, Richard Plug, confirmed the details in a statement. Quote, "Last night our mechanics truck was broken into and several bikes were stolen. The mechanics did an incredible job to make sure we could start the stage today." Star rider Jonas Vingegaard, caught mid-interview before Stage 3, explained how close the theft came to crippling his race. Quote, "Luckily, we still have some bikes to race on. My spare bike from yesterday, that they nicked." Visma's mechanics, with help from rival teams like Movistar and Lidl-Trek, who were staying at the same hotel, scrambled overnight to assemble enough functioning bikes for all riders to start Stage 3. The episode showed both the resilience of pro cycling community and the fragility of its logistics. The local police launched an investigation, but the details were eerily mirroring Cofidis's Tour de France nightmare. The theft occurred in the dead of the night from a truck parked at a hotel during a Grand Tour and involved six-figure sums in stolen equipment. If Cofidis theft could be brushed off as bad luck, then Visma's incident suggested something darker, a deliberate pattern. A pattern emerges: opportunists or organized gangs. By now, the cycling world was asking, are these crimes random, or are teams being systemically targeted? Consider the similarities. Both thefts occurred during the first week of a Grand Tour, when teams carry the maximum number of bikes. Both involved breaking into mechanics trucks parked at hotels. Both involved six-figure sums of equipment. Both happened in the middle of the night, without waking team staff. Cofidis boss Vasseur was adamant, quote, "Certainly an organized gang." His conclusion makes sense. These weren't casual thieves who spotted a truck full of bikes and thought, why not? They were methodical, targeted, and fast. This isn't the first time cycling has been hit. In 2024, the Total Energies team had 11 bikes stolen overnight at the Tour de France, valued at €150,000. The Life Plus Wahoo women's team also had bikes stolen at the Tour of Britain, and Cofidis women's squad suffered yet another theft at the Balloz Ladies Tour in Belgium. Team spokesman Arthur Quellec said, quote, "Theft of these expensive bikes is becoming a real scourge." That word, scourge, rings true. The evidence points not to coincidence, but to a wave of thefts. And if you listen to fans, the suspicion deepens. On Reddit, one commenter speculated, quote, "The last couple of thefts, it has to be organised resellers. I'm convinced the hotels are tipping gangs off." Hotels, after all, know exactly which teams are staying on which nights, and which trucks are parked outside. If you were running an organised theft ring, you'd hardly need to follow the race yourself. A phone call from an insider might be just enough. The economics of bicycle theft at the pro level. Why would thieves target pro cycling teams? The answer is painfully simple. Money, and it's worth it. Each pro racing bike is a marvel of engineering, often hand-built, loaded with proficiency technology, and retailing for €10,000 to €15,000 a piece. A simple truck can hold 30 to 40 bikes, race bikes, spares, time trial rigs. In a single night, a gang could net €500,000 if they really wanted to. But unlike jewelry or cash, these bikes are harder to resell. So why do it? The theory is that stolen bikes are stripped for parts, like wheels, group sets, and frames are resprayed, kind of like when cars get stolen. They're shipped abroad, where serial numbers mean little to nothing. A custom Cervelo with Vingegaard's name on it might be too hot to sell in Belgium, but in South America or Asia, it could fetch thousands. As one insider told Cycling Weekly, the market for stolen high-end bikes is, quote, "shadowy but real," and gangs that can move stolen cars or luxury goods can easily handle bicycles. How teams respond. Patchwork solutions. In both of the Cofidis and Visma cases, teams scrambled straight away to recover. Cofidis leaned on police cooperation and ASO, tour organisers, and to source replacement bikes was definitely a priority. Visma were more dramatically receiving of emergency assistance from even rival squads like Movistar, who decided to lend their spare equipment so Vingegaard could even start stage 3. Visma's Pluge praised his mechanics. Quote, "The mechanics did an incredibly good job." This is happening way too often, and I want to get all your opinions on this. Some of you may even have experience with this, or even have done something to help teams revolving around this topic. Be sure to comment down below your opinion, leave a like on the video for good luck, and subscribe if this is your first time here to stay up to date with the latest cycling news, cycling drama, and cycling results.